Hey guys, my name is Jeremy Rea. I race hard enduro and Endurocross. I'm just here to teach you guys some basic bike technique, how to stand on the bike, how to balance, and the way you want to be when you're coming up to an obstacle. So the first things first is your feet. A lot of guys, a lot of mistakes that I see is they're riding in the arches of their feet right here. So what that does is when you're pushing down, some of your weight's going forward, not all your weight is going to your rear tire. So what you're going to want to do, you're going to want to ride on the balls of your toes, so when you push down, the center of your whole weight is going straight towards the rear tire, and it keeps all of that keeps all of that weight on your rear tire to keep traction to go forward. So if you can see, the bike can do whatever it wants, but my body stays straight. But if I'm right here, it wants to keep going forward. All my weight wants to keep going towards the front tire. But if you do this, it's a lot easier to pull back. Another thing, when you're riding, always keep your pointed fingers on your brake and your clutch. You never know when you're gonna need to feather your clutch. A lot of the obstacles that you're gonna be doing, I call it a double clutch technique. You come up on the obstacle and you pop the clutch, and as soon as you get to the top, you bring it back in, and you're hovering on that clutch so you don't stall out and you keep it going. The reason that you keep your finger on the brake is because that helps you maintain your balance through some stuff. In your corners, you're always using your front brake. You're always using it. And so always try and just keep that a mental thought. Always have your two fingers on a lever at all times. Another good technique to have when you're riding is never have your elbows down. A lot of times I see riders are going fast and they have their elbows like this. You don't have as much strength and maneuverability on the bike when your elbows are up. When your elbows are up, you can move it, you can do a lot of different stuff, but when you're right here, you have no power to move it around. It's mainly in your legs that you're using, but you want to use all muscles. So when you're doing it, always have your elbows up when you're attacking stuff, so you can pull up, push down, come to the side, anything. Always have your elbows up. So when doing an obstacle like this, when you have a log and different elevations, you got to remember, always have feet right on the balls of your toes. That way your momentum and your weight is going towards the back tire. When I come up to this obstacle, depending on how it is, and this one, since this is a higher obstacle, I'm going to plant my front tire here first. I'm going to compress my suspension, and then I'm going to lean back and pop my clutch out, and that's going to pogo me right up. Once you get up onto the obstacle, this is where keeping your finger on the clutch comes in key. You're going to want to pull in that clutch again, because if you don't, you're going to stall it and you're going to fall over each way. But when you come up, compress your suspension, pull back, and then once you get back up, feather that clutch again and keep your momentum going. The reason that you want to be in second gear is because in first gear, you'll slip and you won't get traction. In second gear, you can lug it a little bit better and you can get more momentum to keep you going forward. Momentum is always key. So when you get up to this spot, you got a big drop on this side. I'd say, 2.5 feet or so. A lot of times you can go over the bars on stuff like this. So what you do is when you get to that, the reason you're on your toes is so you can pull back and pop that clutch and lean back. When you get up to this spot, you're really going to want to push down and pop that clutch and pull it back in so you don't loop it, but enough to get your front tire up. And you can land with both tires on the ground. So when doing an obstacle like this, when there's a big hole, obviously it's big tires, so it's kind of scary and intimidating to hit in the first place. But not having anything in the center is a whole new ball game. So when I'm coming up to this, when I'm riding on here, this is where your finger being on the brake lever helps out, because I have my finger hovering on the brake while I'm on this, so it helps my balance from side to side and I don't fall off the log. And then when I'm coming up to this, I'm going to plant my front tire kind of hard, and I'm going to get my front tire high so I have enough momentum when my back tire hits here that my front tire lands on this side of the tire and I don't put my front tire in there and go over the bars. So what you do, come in with a little momentum, you plant your front tire, compress your suspension, and then pull up, and it's going to shoot your front tire straight up. And after that, your rear tire is gonna hit that and it's gonna slap the tire and bring it back down. And that's when you want your front tire to land right here. Because what's gonna happen is you're gonna bring yourself up and then stay on the throttle so you don't so your rear tire doesn't get stuck in here and you'll come right out. So when I'm coming up to an obstacle like this and there's another tire after it and there's two potentials where my front tire can go inside and put me over the bars, don't worry, this is going to take a lot of practice. It still gets me sometimes, but this is where momentum comes in key, and being in second gear instead of first gear will really push you through. So when I'm coming up, this is a lot bigger than some of the other obstacles here at Skyline, just because there's nothing before the tire to help you get up. It's just the straight up tire. So when you're going to come in, you're going to really want to pop your front tire on this and pull back. And then this is where the double clutch comes in. You're gonna pop your clutch up, hit your front tire, pop your clutch again, and compress. In the video, you'll see my butt kind of go down a little bit, and that's pushing that rear suspension down to get traction on the tire to pop me up. Once I get up, my front tire is gonna land here. You're gonna have two gaps on each side that you're gonna want to be careful of. So you're really gonna want to keep your eyes forward so you stay in a straight line. So when you're coming up here, your front tire is going to want to sink in here. So this is where leaning back is key, and being on your pegs in the right spot with your toes is going to help, because it's just going to float your front tire over this next one instead of going like this, going over the bars, not having a good time. So that being said, keep that clutch feathered and keep your momentum going, and you'll just keep going straight through. Sounds a lot easier than it actually is. It took me a long time. Just keep trying and keep trying and keep trying. So on obstacles like these are the hardest obstacles that you could possibly do. You're gonna be coming down into something and you got something that's honestly, I'm 5'8", that's about just as tall as I am. And so when you're coming up to this, you're sizing up, you're going to want to over-rotate your front tire. You'll see what I mean in the video. You're going to come into this, never come in going too slow, because you'll just stall at the top and you'll fall backwards. So you're going to come in with some momentum. You're going to be cruising in, you're going to pop your clutch, and you're going to plant your front tire right here in the top corner. And what's going to happen is send your front tire straight up. And what's going to happen is you want your rear tire to slap this and jolt your bike forward, and then you're going to let the bike go, and you'll see in the video that my arms extend and my ass comes back, so I'm letting the bike scoot forward, and then what you're hoping for is the rear tire to hit the top and get you over the obstacle.